Hi, my name is Steve. I'll be doing my informative speech on the history and uses of hemp. A lot of awareness has been raised in the past 20-25 years by authors of books about hemp, hemp activists such as Willie Nelson, Woody Harrelson, people like that. So a lot of people know a little bit about hemp, that products can be made from it, clothing, cordage, stuff like that, and basically that it has is in some way tied to marijuana. Basically, hemp and marijuana do come from the same plant, Cannabis sativa, but there are strains of Cannabis sativa which are very low in THC, which is a psychoactive compound found in the buds of the fruit-bearing female plants. There are many strains which have been bred and do exist in nature that are very low in the THC compound and lower than psychoactive levels. The only area of the plant that the psychoactive compound is found is in the buds, but there are many other parts of the plant which are extremely useful and have been for thousands of years. Archaeological evidence shows us that 12,000 years ago, hemp was one of the first 4 crops ever cultivated by humankind. And in the book, The Columbia History of the World by John A. Garrity, he states the earliest known woven fabric was apparently of hemp, which began to be worked in the 8th millennium, and that would be roughly between 9 and 10,000 years ago. It's easy to see after doing some research into hemp why it would have been one of the first 4 crops ever cultivated by humankind. Every part of the plant is useful. The seed provides an extremely nutritious food source. Rowan Robinson, in his book, The Great Book of Hemp, on page 55, states that the hemp seed is the most complete protein to be found in the vegetable kingdom. And he also quotes Dr. Udo Aramis in The Great Book of Hemp from his book, Fats That Heal, Fats That Kill. He calls the balance of the omega-3 ratio and the essential fatty acids that are contained in the hemp seed the optimum balance. The other parts of the hemp plant that are used for industrial purposes and have been historically and in America up until the 1930s. It was made illegal in 1937. The other parts are the fiber and the inner part, the inner woody center of the stem, known as the hurd. Many products can be made from these two things. Here's an example of one product that's made from fiber. This is hemp cordage. Hemp produces the longest and the strongest fibers known in the plant kingdom. Oh, here we go. Let me get it up there. Because the hemp plant grows 10 to 16 feet within a 100-day growing period, it produces fibers that are basically 10 to 16 feet long, and that gives the fibers its tensile strength. The hemp plant uses the sun more efficiently than virtually any other plant in the plant kingdom that we know of. Botanically it belongs to one of the most advanced plant families on Earth, and it has been used for food, for fuel, lighting lamps. The oil was used in paints, varnishes, as a lubricant. Henry Ford wanted to use it for a fuel in his car, and he actually designed a car that was featured in the December 1941 issue of Popular Mechanics. He worked 12 years on this car, and his vision and his quote from the article was he wanted to grow automobiles from the soil. He grew a lot of the plants, especially hemp, played a major role in the construction of the body of the car, the interior of the car, the lubricants, and eventually the fuel. The article shows Henry Ford swinging a sledgehammer against the body, and they said they figured the body was 10 times stronger than the steel counterpart, and it was almost 100% made of vegetable material. 70% of that was hemp. Let's see here. As far as making paper goes, it could completely replace using trees for paper. It outproduces trees in a 4-to-1 ratio. 1 acre of hemp will produce more cellulose wood pulp than 4 acres of trees. And it requires less chemicals to process into paper as well. Let's see. In conclusion, the hemp plant may well be the most versatile and useful plants that humankind has ever known. Every part of the hemp plant can be used. Everything that's made out of petroleum and polycarbonate plastic that's made from petroleum and benzene, which has BPA and carcinogens as a byproduct, can be made from hemp through a combination of the seeds and the fibers. A lot of composite materials have been made. It was used in paints and varnishes, oils and cosmetics up until the 1850s in America. Here's another example that I'll use as a visual aid. This, I don't know if you can see it there. This is a pomegranate herbal body moisturizer containing the 7th ingredient in it is cannabis sativa seed oil. And this was historically in America used, seed oil was used in many cosmetics. Just to reiterate, hemp is one of the most versatile plants we know of. Thank you.